There was one thing that took me from being a broke DoorDasher to traveling the world, making over 10K per month from trading and helping over 400 traders do the exact same thing. And it's probably not what you think. There's one key lesson that when I learned this, well, let's just say it was the turning point of my entire career. And in this video, I'm going to show you the #1 reason why you're not profitable and show you how to fix it so you can start making money instantly. Now, if you're anything like me, you probably like to strategy hop. You see, the first 2 years I started trading, I tried everything. I tried penny stocks. I'd blow up the account, I would blame the strategy, and then move on to something else. Then I'd try ICT concepts, and it was the same thing. Then I tried support resistance in large cap stocks, and it was the same thing. I'd keep repeating the cycle of going from one strategy to the next and blowing up account after blowing up account after blowing up an account. And it wasn't until I actually stuck with just one strategy and one A+ setup where I actually started seeing consistent profits. But there's two issues with this. The first one is understanding which strategy actually works and how to find one. The second is having the emotional control and discipline to stick to that strategy. Because after my 2.5-year run of trying a bunch of different strategies, I finally found a mentor and he told me one thing that really changed everything for me. And he said that I needed a strategy that was very, very clear, but also had an edge in the market. And at first, I didn't really understand what that meant until he told me about the casino method. And essentially what that means is over time, no matter what, over a long enough period of bets, those games are going to make money for the casino because statistically they have an edge, and no matter what, over a long enough time, they will make money. And so I figured I needed my trading to be exactly the same because I was doing so much guessing on opening range breakouts and all these different strategies, but I had no data to tell whether these strategies actually worked. And my strategies were not clearly defined enough. I would say I would trade an opening range breakout on a 5-minute chart, but I would sometimes wait for the candle close, and I would sometimes wait an extra minute to see what price would do. And it wasn't clear enough or specific enough to make sure I had an actual edge that was clearly defined that actually works. And so this started the journey of what I call the cycle. And the cycle that made me profitable was the process of backtesting, iterating, and then repeating. And so the backtesting looks really, really simple. I would first come up with a basis for my strategy. I would typically have a main strategy and then a few other confluences or confirmations that would add to the strategy or add to that main concept to make it a full edge. So as a quick example, let's just say I was trading support resistance and then I would add something like volume and I would add something like an engulfing candle pattern as my confirmations. Now what I would do is I would backtest and go throughout the charts and history and see if the strategy worked. Now I would track two different metrics. I would track the risk reward and I would track the win rate. And to be honest, it doesn't really matter what these metrics are as long as it ends up being profitable. I know some strategies that have a very high risk reward, like a 1 to 5 risk reward. They may risk $100 on a trade and make $1,000 every single trade, but their win rate may be very low. It may be only 30-40%, but that still is a profitable strategy. And I also know strategies that were the complete opposite, where it would have a very high win rate where you'd win 70-80% of the trades, but it'd have a very low risk reward. Maybe you would only make $500 for every $700 that you risked. But at the end of the day, as long as it's profitable, that's all that matters. And so what I would do is I would backtest all these different strategies and I would see what the risk reward and what the win rate is and measure if it's profitable over the long run. And of course, the first few times I did this, it wasn't profitable. So what I would do is the next step, which is iterate. And this is a process of essentially adding or taking out different concepts or confirmations. So in the previous example, let's say I would take out the volume confirmation and add it with something else. So maybe I'm no longer going to look at volume, but I'm going to add in the 10 moving average. And let's say I use that as another basis of point of entry for my confirmations for my strategies. Then I would do the same exact thing. I would go back in the charts and I would test, does this strategy actually work? What is my risk reward? What is my win rate out of 50 or 100 or 200 trades? Obviously, the more trades you do, the more math you're going to have, the better data set you're going to have, which means you have a higher chance of finding an actual edge in the market. But I will say it's worth it because yes, I did spend close to a year backtesting, iterating, testing, and recycling this entire process until I found an edge in the market. But it's the same strategy I've been using for the past 2.5 years to 3 years to trade full time. And the other part is you're going to have a lot of emotion. Sometimes you'll be in the trade or you may lack confidence in your strategy and you end up getting out before letting the strategy play out. And that's one of the worst things you can do, especially when you have an edge. That would essentially be like you have an 18 playing blackjack and you decide to hit, even though you should never really be hitting on an 18. But if you're emotionless, you can let the strategy or the edge play out and you don't have to worry about any of that. And here's the one trick I did to help get rid of pretty much all of these emotions. And it's something called an OCO order, which stands for one cancel the other. And this is a type of order that works on pretty much all brokers, and it completely changed my trading. The way OCO orders work are like you can basically set and forget them. So let's say I decide I want to get into a stock at a certain support level. I'll put an order out to say, okay, when price hits this level of support, I want it to buy. And then when price goes below support, I want it to sell for a loss. That'll be my stop loss. And then when price gets up to resistance, I want to sell for my target for a profit, and that will be my gain. And so what I started doing was trading and setting up all these OCO orders where I could simply trade pretty much 100% automated, so I don't even have to sit in front of the screens. This allowed me to get in, set all my trades, close my laptop, and then I don't even look at the trades while they're happening. And it's pretty much impossible to have emotions about a trade when you don't even know what's going on, because a lot of the emotions come from simply staring at the 1-minute chart, hoping and praying that the stock goes in your direction, when in reality, the best thing you can do for yourself is just get in, set your stop loss, set your target, walk away, and let the trade do its thing. Because as long as you have an edge in the market, as long as you have an actual strategy that works, if you are completely emotionless, you will make money. Statistically, you are going to make money by doing this. And that is the best way to trade because it takes out all the emotions. You have to spend less time at the charts. You get a lot more freedom and you make more money. It is one of the absolute best things I can do for my trading, and having an actual edge in the market and using OCO orders at the same time is the deathly combination I use to allow myself to go from basically being broke to now being a full-time trader for the past 3 years. Now, if you are someone who likes shortcuts and you don't want to go through an entire year-long process of backtesting, creating, and finding your edge, the best thing you can do for yourself is hire a mentor. Because the cool thing about trading nowadays is there's so many people out there where you can just simply take their edge, use their strategy that they found for you, and trade it. And as long as you have the confidence that the strategy actually works and the data to back it up, then there's no way that you will lose money trading their strategy as long as you are completely emotionless and you are using good risk management. Now, if you are someone who is interested in learning more about my strategy, the one that I back tested for over a year and the one that allowed me to become a full-time trader, what I've done is I made a free training going over that exact strategy, which I'll leave with a link in the description down below. It's a quick 10 to 15 minute video and it goes over my 3-phase system, which is the exact strategy and method I use that allowed me to become a full-time trader and also help over 400 students become profitable as well. And by the way, this training is not really for beginners. If you are someone who has just started trading within the first 1 or 2 months, this probably won't be for you. If you've been trading for at least 5-6 months and you're still not where you want to be trading wise, then I would definitely highly recommend you check out the training below because it's going to help you out a ton. And with that being said, I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hopefully there's something you can take away from this and use in your own trading. If you did, leave a like, comment down below what other videos I should make, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.